Hear me clearly. Um, if there's any issues, please throw in the chat box, or you can simply unmute yourself and speak up. Okay. So let's get started with our market report. So today is April 19, 2023, and this video is for our LGA realtors, just to educate you guys, see how the market is performing, what's in the news, and we have different tools for you guys that will help you guys find different down payment assistance programs. Right, so you might have different clients say, "Hey, I'm looking for a property, but I need some help with my down payment." So there's different assistance programs out there depending on your income. So I will go over that as well. Okay. So let's get started with our interest rates. So according to Freddie Mac, and this is from April 13, 2023, the interest rates for 30-year conforming conventional loans was 6.27. But this is from last week and is not the most accurate, but it does give help us track compared to what we are seeing right now. So, according to Mortgage News Daily, as of today, for 30-year conforming conventional loan is 6.7%. And this is a more realistic number. This is what we have been seeing from our lender side. So, this again does not mean that your client will get this, but this is the average for the whole United States for fixed 30 years fixed rate for conforming conventional loans. And typically, these credit scores, when we are looking at these interest rates, the credit scores that we're looking for are in above 680 and above. Okay, so if your credit score is lower, you will get a higher interest rate. Okay, so these are your averages. So these interest rates, they do matter a lot. Even few basis point here and there makes a huge difference. So this is a buying power calculator that we have here. So if you want to purchase or get a loan for $500,000, and your interest rates you getting 6.25, and your monthly payment for your mortgage and interest, principal and interest is going to be $3,000. So let's just say now the interest rate you're getting at 7%. At 7% for the same client, if they still want their monthly payment to be $3,000, instead of buying for getting a loan for $500,000, they will need to get a loan for $463,000, which is $37,000 less. Everything else stays the same, but this client is getting about 75 basis points higher interest rate, which will bring down their buying power, right? So they might have to go with a smaller property, or a different area, or whatever the case might be, but they have to go on the lower end compared to the higher end. So interest rates matter a lot, right? And this is from our National Association of Realtors, right? These are the existing home sales snapshot from February. What we want to look at is month over month. It was up by 14%, but year over year, it was down 22%. Why is that, right? From January to February, it did go up. That's what we've been seeing. In January, the interest rates were even higher. Year over year is lower because last year the interest rate were super low around this time. So you're going to see year over year is going to be decreased, right? And inventory, again, we speak about this on every meeting that we have. Inventory is still an issue there. And if you were to put up a property, the inventory, there's only enough inventory for about 2 months on the market. Okay. The market was even hotter in February of 2022, which we saw, right? And that time it was only lasting 1.7 months, right? So these are your stats from February. And as realtors, we should understand the concept of housing affordability index, right? So we want to teach you guys what it is and what number should it be. So if you see index number of 169,000 or 169 compared to 91, you should be able to say which is a good number. Is 169 good or is it 91 good, right? So The affordability index, what does it measure, right? It measures the degree to which a typical family can afford a monthly mortgage payment on a typical home, right? The value of 100, right? If you see the value of 100, that means that the family with the medium income has exactly enough income to qualify for a mortgage, right? If the number is higher, right, higher or above 100, that means that the family earning the medium income has more than enough funds to qualify for a mortgage. And if it's on the lower end, they don't have enough funds. And this is assuming 20% down payment, and the index is calculated on fixed rate mortgages. So let's go back to this. So now you guys know what these numbers stand for. So we need to see above 100 if you want to see that, hey, this family can actually afford a property, right? So in 2020, the average house was around $300,000, and the mortgage rates were super low in 2020. So they were low as 3.17 as averages. So that borrower, their principal and interest was only $1,000, right? 1,035, right? Even if they were making $84,000, because the index number we just saw, that because the affordability was a lot there, so it was 169, that's the highest that we see here. They only needed $49,000 to qualify, right? So now let's look on the highest end, which was right here too, that the property was around 384. Look at the interest rates now. Before in 2020, we were comparing it to 3.17, and now we're comparing it to 6.98 at 7% interest rate. So now the payment doubles, right? So it goes from 1,000 to $2,000. So the affordability index will drop below 100. So that's the concept here. So if you guys know the concept, hey, if it's below 100, that means this is probably not the best time to purchase because the affordability is not there for an average American, right? When the interest rates are super low, the affordability is skyrocketing. It went above 169. Okay. So that's your, and I'll share this with you guys as the PDF, right? It's dropped in the chat, guys. Any questions so far, guys? Any questions, concerns, just feel free to stop me anytime. Okay. Okay. And this article is from yesterday. And this shows, again, what we have been talking about, that many sellers looking to buy a new home feel trapped by their low mortgage interest rates, right? So we said, home buyers do want to upgrade their property. They do want to sell their property and, buy another one. So homeowners that's looking to sell within the next 12 months, 86% of them are planning to buy a new home. So obviously, we need a property to live. So instead of, if you have a property, you're not going to sell a property and then go rent somewhere when you know that you just made profit of selling it. So you know the equity building concept and everything like that. So 86% of them are going to buy or plan to buy a house. But 82% of those are feel they're locked in, just like we said, if you have an interest rates at 3% right now or 3.5, if you refinanced it around, COVID time, it's very hard for you to sell that property when you know that you can just pay that down and have that as a retirement plan or whatnot, right? Your equity is building, you're paying so low interest rates, and you don't feel the burden of owning that property because after all the expenses, you're making something out of it, right? But there are situations where the sellers want to sell that property and then upgrade to a bigger house, move to a different area because of their job or whatnot, right? But they just feel like, they just feel they're locked in. Another thing from them, they might get another home equity loan, where they don't touch this loan that they have. They try to get maybe 100, 200,000, just enough for their new down payment. So if the new down payment is going to be 10% and they need $100,000, then they will just get the equity from the old house without touching the old loans. So as realtors, we're having that issues. Every time you speak with a seller says, hey, I'm already locked in, I have a good interest rates, and the mortgage payment doesn't hurt me, so I don't think it's the best time to sell. If you were in their shoes, you should feel the same way. If you have a property you sell, you're gonna feel the same way. So just know those facts, right? But there might be a situation that they want to sell it. That's perfectly fine. But majority of them, that's the issue that we see here. Okay. Okay. Another article was that listing shortage keeps prices from falling in quarter, right? First quarter of 2023. And that's exactly the same way. If there's not enough inventory out there, the prices are not going to drop. The prices will only drop when there's a lot of options. Not a lot of options. I think you guys as realtors understand that concept inside out now, right? Another article from National Mortgage News. This is home price growth slows, but demand remains strong, right? Again, the price wise, we're not seeing the highest prices. As we always mention, when you're doing your comps now, you're submitting your offer, don't have to go on the highest end. Start off solid and see if you have to move up to make that deal happen. But again, the demand is there, not enough supplies out there, right? Simple supply and demand concept there. Okay. And the confidence. Now, some of you guys are having a conversation with, or you have your clients in KV Core where you've been showing them for the last 6 months. Some of them are even going up to a year, which is perfectly fine. If they were doubtful or anything like that, trust me, the confidence is coming, right? They're right now, they're saying 43% of them are confident that the housing market will remain strong over the next year, and that's up 9% from last quarter, but down 15% compared to last year. Again, every year is going to be different. There are some clients who are ready to purchase right now, and this is who you want to focus on, right? You don't want to be the one who is telling them, hey, this is the perfect time. They have to decide on their own when they're ready to make that move. But you as a realtor, your job is to show, and and submit your offers, right? But when the interest rates drop, there's more people that's going to qualify for more. But just note with that, the prices will increase. Okay. And for new constructions too, permits fell in March. So these are the new properties. This matters a lot as well because when there's new properties on the market, there are some clients only looking for new property. So benefit of brand new property, usually they think or that they don't have to touch this property for a long time. Doesn't need renovations. There's a brand new building, and next 40 years, 50 years, I know there's no issues. Might not be the case. Sometimes there's a brand new house, you close in the property, and then there's still leakages, there's this or that, right? So that's why home inspections, even if it's a brand new property, should be there, right? There are times where you say, hey, I don't need a home inspection for a brand new building. Again, if you're purchasing over $1 million property, paying $300, $500 for home inspection is not a bad thing, right? So you always want to point that out. But just overall, new constructions was down, and the new permits did fall. Right. Next, let's look at Brooklyn. We usually follow up with Queens and our Nassau stats, but now we have agents in Brooklyn area as well. We have a few loan officers coming from Brooklyn. So let's look at Brooklyn stats. Right, for March here, right, last month, the prices they dropped, and it dropped around 8%, which is pretty much on the high end that we saw, right? Usually we see in with Queens, hey, it dropped like 3%, 2%, but this is a big jump that we see in Brooklyn, right? So if you're submitting your offers in Brooklyn, just know that, hey, maybe you can go on the lower end because the prices overall in Brooklyn are adjusting a little bit down compared to last year. Okay. And this chart shows similar thing. The highest end we saw when the interest were the lowest, the average was about a million, and now around 960. Okay. Any questions, concerns, anything on your mind, guys? All right. So let's look at the negative news, right? So there's a lot going on, different avenues that you look at, different channels that you view. But this is a mortgage meltdown meter, which I found interesting. So I was like, let me share that with you guys. So this pretty much shows you all the negatives. Uh, Industry jobs lost as of the 18th was around 68,000 people, right? Lost their job. Single family growth slowed year over year, right? Homeowners feeling the squeeze of inflation, right? These are all negative news, right? Raising property taxes adding to homeowner stress. That's a big one. And we always want to, especially for areas that have their property tax on the high end, don't tell your clients that, hey, the tax is at $18,000, but you can apply for this program and you can get $1,000 off, right? You don't even know if they're gonna get that money break or not. You'd never want to promise that, right? And you want to suggest that, hey, if it's 18,000 today, then next year it can go to 19,000. It might go even higher. So do you really think this is your best option? The last thing you want is after the closing you get a call, hey, my taxes are really high and I really can't afford it, and you never advise me, so since you're a realtor, the taxes are always going higher. Always advise that's the best thing for your clients, right? So these are your negative news. And on the positive side here, and this is from NAR research as well, so people who have low income, right, but they are homeowners, over the last 10 years, over the decade, right, they have built around $100,000 in wealth. This would never ever happen because they're already earning, they're on the low income side, and it's hard to save money for anything, right, because they have so many ongoing expenses. But with buying a property, right, there's a benefit. You are building your equity over the years. So if you're going to purchase a property today, right, and you're looking in 10-year time frame, and you have a property in New York, there's a good chance that you're going to make money out of that instead of losing money, right? It's usually a safe bet with these properties, right? For middle income home buyers, right, they made around 122 in their home appreciated, right? So we know the prices went higher, and over the last 10 years, they have been building equity, right? And upper income household have built even higher, which is $150,000 in wealth since 2012, right? So these are stats from our NAR realtors. So we know that they're reliable, and you can see that everybody does make money when you're buying a property and you're holding down to it. Again, if they want to sell that property in 2 years, 3 years, might not be the best bet because there's expenses to buying and selling, and you probably don't want to deal with it. But if you're going from renting to purchasing and you're going to hold it for 10 years, buying a property is never a bad idea, right? And that's the conversation you want to have with your clients, stats like this, right? So I'll share that with you guys too, this tweet. And you guys are more than welcome to, if you have a Twitter account, follow NAR Research, right? So it helps. All right, guys. So in the last meeting, we had few of our agents that asked how we check just expired listings on MLS, right? So once you're logged into Stratus, right, you see the homepage and you might see a news. You can close it. Once you're in here, if you see this menu on the left side here, like this panel here, you can click on this arrow if you want to put it up here, or you can leave it on the left if you prefer it there, right? I prefer on the top, so I'm going to leave it here. So once you're in there, you want to go to listings and search. Once you're in search, you want to go to predefined searches, and you want to click on just expired. So we just want to look at the residentials, and we're going to hit continue. Now in here, now we're just going to type in the area that we want to see just expired listings. So let's say I want to see in Valley Stream, right? And you could put expiration date from first and submit. So you can see in Valley Stream there were 5 listings that expired. You click on the first one, and you can see all the specs, and you can see the status is expired. You can see the listings, agents information, right? But you don't get, with the downfall of this is like you only know that there's a listing that's expired, but there's no phone number for these guys, right? For the homeowner, you have the listing agent's number. If you guys are trying to cut out VetX or Mojo Dialer, any of those sort for to cold call, this feature is just to show you which properties are that just expired, but not give you the homeowners or the sellers' phone numbers. That's why VetX has this value, because they're charging you X amount of money to give you that list, but they will give you the list of the property, and it will give you the homeowners' information, right? So paying for that service, cold calling, has its benefits, and they're aware of their value. That's why they charge what they charge, right? So you guys are more than welcome to take a look at this. So in here, in predefined searches, you don't just have expired, but you have other ones as well. You can see all the open houses, broker open houses there, public open houses there. So let's do that one, public open house. Let's say you want to see just residential, and you just want to see what's going on this Saturday or Sunday in our zip code here. So 11420, and I want to see who's hosting open houses this weekend here. So Saturday and Sunday, and there's two of them. Submit. So click on it. So it's 12509. It's listed by Vishal, and the open house is from 1 to 3 on the 22nd, and then 1 to 3 again on the 23rd. Okay. So if you have an active listing, doesn't matter where it is, guys, hosting open houses is essential, right? You want to host your open houses not to just find a buyer for that property, but there might be buyers that's coming in to that door, and they don't like that property or they can't afford that property, whatever the case might be. But you are a realtor, you can take that lead and add it to KV Core, set up the alerts, and start showing them other properties, right? So you want to take advantage of that. So on the listing side, please have, host open houses much as possible, right? Even if it's for 2 hours, hour and a half, whatever it is, hosting it does goes a long way when it comes to on the listing side. Okay. And there's other searches that you guys can look at it as well. Okay. There's two new properties that came on the market that I thought that was really good for flips, or if they want to knock down this property and build another one on, a brand new property there. So there's two of them. One of them is in Roosevelt here for 349. This is a single family. The taxes are reasonable, $8,000. The lot size seems good. Five over, it's 45 by 125. The list price is good. So if you have an investor, even listed as a fixer upper, I would send them this alert or this property as soon as possible, right? If they want to see it, I would contact the listing agent and see if I can show them today or tomorrow. Properties like this usually go away within a week. That's the reasonable time frame for any good property to go under contract when there's a good flip on it, right? Another one is in Valley Stream here, and this is a single family as well, but it's on the higher end of 459. And the taxes, again, they're below 10,000, so it's good. And the lot size is around 5,000 square feet. So again, this will be great for your investors. So send this link as soon as possible and schedule a showing for them. Okay. And you guys, as realtors, when you guys know that, hey, I see a property that might be a good flip, but I don't know the condition, I would schedule my own showing. Say, hey, I'm a realtor. I would like to come see it. I have plenty of clients that would want to see it, but I want to judge this by, being the first one to take a look at it. I used to do that all the time. I would recommend you do this, so this way you get the feel of it, and if you feel like you get that gut feeling that, hey, I'm going to sell this property and this property has a great potential, then all of a sudden you pick up your phone and you start calling. Hey, investor, I know you've been waiting. Here's a property that came on. I just saw it. When you say that, hey, I just saw it and I saw it for you, it goes a long way, right? So you want to tell them, hey, I just saw it, and make sure it's true, and then make that showing happen and submit their offer, right? And like I said, you can be going under contract for with investors overnight, because investors, once they see a potential in a property, they will go beyond and just like make sure that the offer is in on time, and they'll be all over you if they like the property. But make that initial move of seeing that property initially by yourself, right? Any questions so far, guys? All right, guys. So this link right here that I'm going to share with you guys right now is from a website called Down Payment Resource. So it tells you what are you eligible for, right? It will ask you for a few the information from Dropdown, which we'll do right now, and it will tell us how many MASH programs are there for them, right? So we will use, it says, tell us about your household. How many people live in your household? Include yourself, spouse, children, and other adults, right? That's living with you. So let's say it's a family of four: husband, wife, and two kids, right? Do you currently own a home? No, this is the brand new client, first time home buyer, and they're renting right now. And we want to see how much, or they never bought a property before, and see what kind of programs are available. So, do you currently own a home? No, I have never owned a home. And household income, husband and wife, let's say both of them are making $40,000 each, and total they're making $80,000, right? And then it will give you ask for additional information, right? This is optional if they have worked, served the country, if they have uh, their profession is in education, law enforcement, any of these sorts. So if any of these do apply to your client, you would click on yes or check that off. And are you or your co-borrower American Indian, right? There's different programs for them too, so no, right? Do you or co-borrower, depending on household, have a disability? There's different program for disability as well. So let's say no, right? So right off the bat, you can see on top here there are 16 programs. We can click on view result. Let's click on next first, right? It says congrats, you've been matched with 16 programs. So first, it will tell you the maximum amount, the program name, and then you can click here to learn more, right? Some of these programs are by state, some of them are by city, right? So this can help you. First, you should be doing this on your own. Play around with this, right? Do it for your own income. Do it for your client's income. Just to see. And it's very basic. How many people are living there? How much you guys are making? Which area you guys are living there, and it will tell you guys what they qualify for. And if you want to learn more, then you click on learn more, and you get the details. Gives you links and all that. Again, if you guys have this tool, and if you guys can even forward that tool to your client and let them use it on their own, that's perfectly fine too. But you guys are the one who's providing this link to them and providing some value to that client. Things like this goes a long way with you building trust with those clients and guiding them. You are a realtor, again, you're a specialist, buying and selling properties and down payment programs. You guys should be able to guide them where to find these programs, right? So save this website, bookmark it, right? And use it for yourself as well. Okay. Yeah, no problem, Hassan. Any other questions, concerns on this, guys? All right. Okay. Also, consumerfinance.gov also have this sheet here, which I'll share. There's a PDF, and this is just a simple monthly spending tracker, right? This is good for a borrower that's looking to purchase a property, or even for yourself if you want to purchase your first or second property and you want to know what's your, or you want to start tracking your monthly expenses. What's my cell phone, what's my debt payment, what's my eating out expense, my entertainment, and your pets, transportation, all that sort, right? You can put that together and start tracking this. So if you have this sheet, print out like maybe six of them and you track it every month, you can really start cutting down the expenses that you feel like are not necessary, especially when you want to buy a house. Your DTI, your debt to income, matters a lot. So you want to clean up all of these expenses before you want to apply for those for the loan, right? And you just don't want to do it for 1 or 2 months. You want to have a consistent program where you are, controlling your expenses, so you don't have any issues making your mortgage payments. Okay. Also on this website here, there's a lot of guidance from the government, right? From Consumer Affairs and consumerfinance.gov, and you guys can take a look at on your own as well. But I'll share that link in chat right now. All right, all right, guys. So even when it comes to assistance programs, right, with conventional loans, right, there's FHA programs which are fine. Then there's conventional. Majority of people think that, hey, if it's a first time home buyer, I need 20% for conventional. Not true, right? We know that we can go as low as 3%. So there's two programs. One is called Home Possible, one is called Home Ready, right? And let's look at the breakdown here. No, we're actually on it. Sorry about that. Okay. So the credit scores do matter when it comes to these programs, right? One of them is from Freddie Mac and the other one from Fannie Mae. And the credit score for Home Possible is 660, and for Home Ready is 620, right? So if your credit score is better, then you obviously want to go with the Home Possible. But in both cases, you just need to put down 3% down payment, right? One of the requirement it is that if your area's medium income, right? That means ours, just correct me if I'm wrong, is it $130,000 for Queens? You're muted. Yeah, 135. You got to make less than that as a household income, and then you can qualify for these programs, right? Again, when your loan officer will review not just these programs, but all the other options, including FHA. But if this makes sense, then they will advise you. We mentioned with FHA, let's say you were going to put 3.5% down, your mortgage insurance will never go away. But with these programs, the insurance, mortgage insurance, does go away once you hit 80%. So you don't have to refinance because these are conventional loans already. Okay. So that makes a huge difference compared going with this compared to going with the FHA loan. Right, Josh? You want to add anything to this? Home Possible, Home Ready? Right. Yep. So both of them do require a home buyer's education program. It's very straightforward, but the government wants you to learn about the home buying process, knowing your responsibilities. So this way you know that you have to make a mortgage payment for 30 years if you get a 30-year mortgage. So these educational programs, they never hurt. We always encourage our home buyers to do these educational programs so they can learn for themselves, right? And then you have and they don't have to be a first time home buyer for any of these programs. Okay. Pretty sure you guys have questions for this. Any questions? It's a conventional, it's not a FHA loan, right? So the mortgage insurance will go away after 20 after they hit 80% equity or 20% equity, right? And the reason you would go from, depending on the credit scores, if your credit score is between 620 and 659, you probably want to go with Home Ready. If it's higher, then you want to go with Home Possible, right? Okay. So a couple of other things I want to mention to you guys. We made a video about 40-year mortgage as well. A lot of people think that there's a new program out there for FHA and they can get a 40-year mortgage. It's not the case. It's not true, right? So it's not available for new purchases. It is available for people who already have FHA loans and they're behind payments and they have a hardship, right? So to those lenders, FHAs are saying, hey, let's, instead of going through a foreclosures with these borrowers, why not extend their loan? Let's go from 30 years to 40 years. Let's add 10 more years to them, and which will reduce their monthly payment. And if they qualify, let's give them that. If they don't, then they do have to go through the foreclosures and give up that property. So the government is giving this opportunity for clients who already have FHA loans. So if you hear that, hey, or if your client asks you that, hey, do you know anything about 40-year FHA loan? Is Tell them it's not available for new purchase. Simple as that, right? And Zillow team and Zillow ads, guys. There are some of you guys are on Zillow, but not part of our LJ Realty team. If you already have a Zillow account running, we are willing to spend 50% of your budget from our mortgage side, right, to help you guys out. So and we get to share those leads. So just be part of that. Even if you want to start off small on Zillow, so you get the ball rolling, do that. Whatever your budget is, we'll spend half of that. But more importantly, just having a free profile and having being part of our LJ Realty team on Zillow makes a big difference to us. We have about 70 some agents now, and there's less than 20 people on Zillow team. So we want to bring that up where we have at least 60 or 70% of our agents on Zillow, right? It makes you look good too that you're pretty part of a bigger team, and we want to stand out from the rest as well because we actually have a good big team, but not everybody's on Zillow with our team there. So I encourage every one of you guys, if you don't have a Zillow profile, create one. If you need any assistance, ask me for it, and I can help you guys set that up. Right? All right. I think I pretty much covered everything so far. Right? So we mentioned beginning of this meeting here, there's different courses that will help you specialize in real estate, right? So you can do these different courses on your own time. I highly recommend them if you're serious about real estate. If you just got your license, I wouldn't recommend that you do it right off the bat, right? You want to learn your processes and all that, learn your KV core, learn your system. Then the following month or 2 months into it, choose different programs. There's buyer side, there's seller side, there's foreclosures, short sale. There's so many different programs out there. But the seller side is, I feel like, is the most important, right? You want to be a listing agent down the line. You want to be able to tell them, hey, I did a course through our, uh, our realtor company, right? Libor, and they taught me everything about selling side. I know exactly, exactly how to talk to them, and even if you learn few things out of that from that course, it goes a long way when you're actually talking to these owners and sellers out there, right? These courses are not free, right? Some of them they go, $100, 200, 300, 400, really depends. You guys can take a look at them, right? For this one, almost every one of you guys are, well, I think everybody needs to be a part of MLS, so everybody should have this plan here for 295 for this course. And again, you can register online and just learn how to get listings, how to represent a seller, right? Obviously, the buyer side, when we're doing our trainings here, how to talk to you with our clients through our questionnaire, how to use KV Core, how you use dot loop, they are solid to do a transaction. But with these certificates and courses out there, it boosts your ego as well, I would say, yourself, like, yeah, you're more professional and you're more education out of that, different programs out there. So I highly encourage that you guys look into this, and again, I'll share this link with you guys, right? And sign up for any of them. If you had to choose one, I would go with the sellers one, right? Any questions, concerns, guys? Has anybody completed this course yet? I just pasted it. Wait, has anybody completed this course or no? No. Yeah. If you have not, I would highly recommend that you do. Right. All right, guys. And the last thing is in KV Core here. We mentioned it a couple of meetings back too. Your lead engine squeeze page, right? Build squeeze page, which will be just a link for different things that you can do with KV Core. Either market report, it could be a multi property, it could be a single property, but very easy to use. So when you're posting things online on social media, you know, you can not just post a comment or something like that, but you can actually give them more information, more data about their area, right? So if you just select an area and hit generate link, it will give you those links, and then you just share that with your post, right? And I don't. Yeah. So yes. So I saw this is big ups to Rupinder, right? What she did, which I saw, I think was last week, if I'm not mistaken, or early this week. She made a video about a strategy called Burr, right? So she did her research, and I'm pretty sure she made a video. I thought it was very professional, and that same video she's going to be using it many times, or it's going to be on the market or stay online for a long time. So when you're throwing out facts, right, you can know that, hey, I don't have to edit this video later or anything like that. Keep it short, research about a single concept, and practice. Every video that I'm doing on average is about 5 to 10 takes, right? Some of them are, first couple of them, some of them are more than 20, to be honest. So on average is 5 to 10. um, so I just want to get some feedback from Rupinder. What made you actually do this, and how many takes did it take? So if you can share, Rupinder, please. Well, yeah. So you start all over, right? You don't edit and anything. If you mess up, you start all over. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Perfect, perfect. Yeah. I mean, it really depends on your skills, right? Like if you can edit and do it longer, that's fine. But I think even minute and a half videos, they go as reels, right? And yeah, yeah, perfect, perfect. Yeah. And like I said, when we're doing the facts, I think everything that you mentioned in that video was just facts, right? It's not like you're putting in your input yet. So, guys, like we can learn a lot from that. So, thank you for sharing, Rupinder. Yeah, but 3 or 4 tries, I think you're an expert in that, right? Like I said, when we started and everything, Josh is struggling with that, but we're gonna make that happen soon, where he's making videos with me, even sound, right? Hmm. Exactly. Yeah. No, we point out all the bad things. Like I do the same thing. Like, sometimes this is not correct, that is not correct, but you just put it out there. I think, yeah, yeah. And yeah. And don't worry about any views. Like even if you get 2 views on a video, it's perfectly fine. Even if you get like, zero. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but once you start promoting it, like my thing was like I want to do it in the morning, right? Like I come in, I want to shoot a video and then get started. It's like once you start picking out like different topics and you say, "Hey, I need to do it for a minute," you guys will be surprised when you guys doing it. He's like, "Hey, I have to say this," and you write a paragraph, and then in a minute, you literally just say a few things, and a minute is up. So you guys need to start cutting down, making it like I need to say these bullet points, but just like getting comfortable with the camera, it's so hard, like when I take a break for a week or so and then I try back on, it's like I'm so rusty, like it's like it's hard to be on that same page again, but it's just like try to keep it consistent. No, no. No, I mean, I've been trying to do it for a while, but like, yes, like I said, even until now, it's like, it takes a lot of tries for me because I do like to say everything in one. But just like on a positive note, just from this was yesterday's phone call. Somebody said, hey, they called me and he said, hey, you recommended me to take the license classes, real estate license classes. And then I'm sorry, but I completely forgot about you. And then I saw your video on TikTok for this 40-year, FHA term, and now, I'm thinking of switching and coming from Keller Williams to you guys. I was happy. So things like that, you never know what kind of conversion you will get. So maybe your family, friends, or somebody watching right now might not want to take any action, but you never know who's going to be watching and actually say, "Hey, I want to buy a house with you. I want to sell a house with you," and go from there. Right? It's just like it's better than doing any other advertisement that I think. Instead of postcards, newspaper. Yeah. No, no, go ahead. Yeah. Mhm. I would say not advising anything on the mortgage side if you're not licensed. Even if you're licensed, like we spoke with Terlochin and other loan officers too, the state is so strict when it comes to online. I don't know if they don't understand the concept of it or whatever the issue is. So they told me as loan officers, we can make educational videos where we're not asking for business, we're not displaying our phone numbers, we simply have our name and our NMLS number and the office that we were working with, and just talking about just educating them, but no numbers. But from the real estate side, I would keep it simple as like if you look at my videos, right, you can take a look. All those topics are very straightforward, simple, and you can talk about home inspection, you can talk about appraisal, just the buyer sides, even your clients, the trouble that you went with. Even I would speak about some struggles that you had, remember, with the um, your clients going behind your back. Hey, I've been showing them X amount of things, but you had the agency disclosure sign. Is the agency disclosure really worth it? And then you can talk about, hey, I went through this. You know, so different topic. Keep it off, like mortgage side, just to be safe. But it's because there's so much. Mhm. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, as a realtor, you can say there's FHA and convention loans, but when it comes to down to it, what's the difference? Who qualifies, what? Then definitely a loan officer's job. But no harm in saying, hey, you can do it down, not even down payment, but just like, hey, FHA or convention loan. But again, just because these keywords, right, these are triggered, right, even when we're not typing it, but we're actually seeing it, if the state picks it up, and you don't want to be into something where the state's not even sure what the rules and regulations are, so they're just telling us simply, not to talk about it as realtors. So I would keep it away from that, right? Yeah, but then again, there's so much data out there where you can make small videos. Even there's so many questions that you guys can. I'll share this with you guys. I believe I have one link here. Oh, probably not. Okay, but I'll share a link with you guys. It was like there's 50 questions that a buyer usually goes through, so you guys can pick out, not just for Rupinder, you're doing great, but even other people that want to be encouraged by it. Just like, hey, let me talk about this. This is the question. This is the answer, and it has completely to do with real estate. and those are perfectly normal, right? All right, guys. Any other questions, concerns, anything in your mind? We have a few minutes left. All right. Last thing, your website, guys. Again, some of you guys are browsing it, some of you guys not. Browse your website, see how a client will browse it. Click on the sell feature, check that out. But just be on your website too. Okay, it's very important. We're giving you free software. One is you get things for free. You don't know the value of it because you're not paying for it. But when we know we're paying thousands of dollars for these software, we just want to encourage you guys to use them. Everything that we do here has a purpose. So hopefully you guys can actually use these software and benefit you and your clients. All right. I hope this meeting helped. We got to run. If any questions, any topics that you guys have, you guys can shoot me a text message or throw in Teams, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. All right, that will do it, guys. You guys can get going one by one. I'll see you guys next Wednesday at 11. Yep. Take care.